Okay, the article that I read is about group work in the secondary ESL classroom, which is my field of study and where I'll get my licensure once I graduate. When I graduate. Okay, this is specifically about a study that they did about the effectiveness and how students respond to group learning. And one of the first questions they were trying to get the answer to was about whether or not it makes lessons more enjoyable for students, and they found that the students did find it more enjoyable. It also gave them the opportunity to talk with each other and have more authentic language practice, because it wasn't just reading sentences off of paper and drilling grammar or vocabulary. It was authentic, real-life conversations and situations. That is connected to the next point, which is that it whether or not it promoted interaction between students and also teammates, which is group work. Clearly you have to work together. And that language practice, it also then promoted that authentic, the authentic conversation and language use. Another facet of that is that in classrooms you definitely have different levels of students. So when you're forming your groups, you put higher level with lower level. And then the higher level are able to help the lower level students. And that is a huge factor in the interaction approach to language teaching. They found that it was an effective learning mechanism as decided by students, and student perception is extremely important. If students don't feel like they learned anything, they're not going to be as motivated. It's really discouraging for them. So if they feel like they learned something, it's really good. Another good thing about group work is the activities you plan for them can be tailored to match the group's levels and activities, so higher level, lower level students. And now I will get to the activity that I planned and explain why there are waves in the background. It is for an intermediate level classroom. It's called Marooned, and so it gets them working in different groups, small groups, medium-sized groups, and then large groups, and also as a class. So you put them in groups of 2 to 3, depending on your class size. I planned for a class of 15 to 20. So you put them in groups of 2 or 3, and these students are marooned on a desert island, and they have to put together a list of 10 things that they wish they had with them. And then you give them 10-15 minutes for that, and then you move on and you make bigger groups. So you tell them to, maybe join another group. And then they together as a group have to narrow that list down to 5 things. And then once that is done, once each group is done with that, you have the class all come together, and as a class they have to decide what 5 things they would want with them on an island. And so the island ambiance just kind of makes it a little bit more fun and engaging. And this is also good for doing there are 4 to 5 language competencies in the TESOL field. And so this one would touch on linguistics, which is just basic usage of the language, strategic, which is breaking just in case there's like a gap in your knowledge and how you work around that, and also for problem solving. And sociolinguistics is how you behave in certain settings. So in a small group, you'll talk to each other differently maybe than you would in the whole class environment. In conclusion, this article and this presentation show that group work in an ESL class is an excellent way to facilitate student-motivated learning and make it more exciting.